Yeah.
Hi everyone, my name is Dylan, and today I'm very excited to introduce to you a brand new feature in GoDaddy Studio called Instant Video. Now there have been some basic video capabilities in Studio for a while, but this is where we take things to a new level. Instant Video has been trickled out in beta mode for a couple of months, but it's finally ready for everyone to try out. And that's the main point really. It's simple and intuitive enough for anybody to create video content. Oh, and it's totally free to download and use. That said, I'd like to take just a few minutes to give you a quick overview of how to get started and how it all works. So let's take a look. Right, so you'll find Instant Video via the Create tab, this plus icon at the bottom center of your screen. And if you tap that, you should now see at the top of your screen the option to create an instant video. So the first decision you'll make is the format you'd like, whether that's square, portrait, or landscape. And today I think I'm going to go with square with a view to creating a short ad for Instagram. Right, now I have the option to add different clips to make my video, and I'm taken directly to our media library. And at this stage, I can either add my own video clips. So if I scroll to videos at the top here, this will access all the videos I have saved on my device. Or I have the option of digging into some of our video libraries. And it's worth pointing out the difference between the two main video libraries that we have. We have the GoDaddy Studio videos, which is a curated selection of mostly animated video clips, mostly in the 9:16 story format. And many of these have been commissioned and created for us by motion graphic artists and videographers. And then next to that, we have the Pixabay videos library, which is an enormous selection of really high quality live action clips, mostly in landscape format. So it obviously depends on the style, the purpose, and the format of what you're trying to create. But you can, of course, resize any video to fit your canvas once we get to that stage. And it's worth mentioning that all of these videos are fully licensed, so there's no issue in you using them for your brand's content. So between these two libraries, there are literally thousands and thousands of options for you to use, and it'll save you loads of time and money compared to if you had to imagine shooting or sourcing these video clips yourself. Now, for the sake of this quick example, I'm going to use a combination of the two, creating a post for a fictitious travel company promoting a deal on summer holidays. And I think I'd like to start off with an animated clip as my opening frame. So I'm just going to search for travel in the GoDaddy Studio videos library. And this looks like a good option for me. Now you'll see as I tap this, it gets added right at the bottom of my screen. You'll see there's a timeline that starts to happen. And as soon as I've tapped that first clip, it'll add it into my timeline. So I'm now going to dig through the Pixabay library to find some choice clips for a summer vacation. And this is going to take me a few minutes to do, so I'm just going to fast forward through this section while I make my selection of video clips. All right, so now I've selected all of my clips that I'm going to use, and they've been added to my timeline here at the bottom. And the next thing I'm going to do is just trim and edit these clips. Many of them might be 20, 30, up to 60 seconds long, but I'm just looking for a few seconds of each clip. So I can simply tap them to do this. See, if I tap these clips at the bottom, I can just drag the edges of the clip to create the length I'd like. So this one is initially around about 30 seconds. I'm just looking for 3 or 4 seconds from each clip. So I'm just going to reformat this, and you'll see that'll tell me exactly how long it is. This one's 4 seconds. Perfect. And I'm going to continue to do this for all of the clips I've selected, just choosing the best 3 or 4 seconds from each of them. All right, so I've trimmed all of my clips down to just a few seconds each. And the other thing I can do here if I'd like is just hold down and drag these around to reorder them. And then I can also delete any clips that I've changed my mind about. So for example, this one of the coral at the end, I don't think that's going to work. I'm just going to tap the X in the top right corner and delete that. So now I have all my clips lined up in a timeline at the bottom of my screen. It's worth mentioning that you can, of course, edit, replace, or delete any of these clips later on when we get to the canvas stage. So don't stress too much about getting it perfect up front. You can make these changes a little bit later on too. But generally speaking, I'm ready to proceed. So I'm just going to tap the check icon at the top right-hand corner, and it'll just take a few moments to process all of those clips into one video. All right, now in this next step, we get some assistance from artificial intelligence to speed things up and make our lives a bit easier. You'll notice that Instant Video will add a suggested title for your video based on what it sees in the clip. So here it says, discover the world from a new perspective. It'll also suggest a font, a color, and some music for your video. If I let it play, you can probably hear that music in the background. And just holding down and scrolling back and forth allows me to scrub through my video to get some kind of impression of what it's looking like as I go. Now, it's important to note that these are just suggestions for titles, fonts, colors, and music to save you a bit of time. But you can change any of it as you continue to customize your video. You do have the option of removing that suggested title altogether when we get to the editing stage on the canvas. But if you find the title quite useful for your video and you'd like to cycle through some different options of what the AI suggests, then you would just tap slogan at the bottom left here. So you jump into adventure, soar to new heights, the sky is the limit. It gives me a few different options to choose from there. Now, it's important to note that all of these elements, the font, the color, the music, they're all served up to you depending on the video style that you choose. And these are in line with existing GoDaddy Studio styles. So you can see underneath here we have options for bold, elegant, corporate, classic, retro, boho, and so on. So this will be a personal choice in line with your brand style or the style of your video. Today I think I'll go for a modern video style, but I'd like to change the suggested music track. So I can do that in one of two ways. I can either just keep tapping on this modern tab at the bottom, and every time I do so, it'll suggest a new color and a new audio track. You can hear that in the background. But if you'd like to take a more direct approach in selecting your music, then you'll see at the bottom right-hand side there's the music tab. I'm just going to tap on that, and you'll see here I can choose my music. So this will take me to an audio library. Again, these are all fully licensed tracks, so you can use them without any worry in your video. And I can start to listen to some of the suggestions. Some good options here. I think Feeling Good sounds right to me, so I'm going to choose that one. And you of course have the option of removing the music altogether. If you decide you don't want any music in your track, you can tap remove music at the bottom. And the other thing you can do is adjust the audio. So this option in the middle, if I tap that, you'll see I've got the option of moderating the volume of the video itself, the audio within the video, and then the music track that I'm using on top of that. And this is really useful, for example, if you are using a self-recorded video, you're recording yourself talking into camera, and perhaps you'd like your voice to dominate with the music just serving as a background track, then you would take the video track all the way down, the video track all the way up and the music all the way down. Or alternatively, you might just want some subtle ambience from the video clip that you've used. You would then take the video track down quite low and bring the music track up to be at the forefront. So I think that's the option I'm going to go for today. I don't have any ambient or voiceover sound in my video. I just really want it to be propelled by the music. So I'm going to bring that right up. And now I think I'm ready to move ahead. So this looks good to me so far. I'm just going to tap the check icon at the top right-hand corner, and that will take me to my canvas. Now, if you've used Studio before, you should be familiar with this mode. Each clip is now on a separate page, and I can now edit each of these individually. For starters, I can resize or reposition the clip. I just tap on it and drag it to the size or position that I'd like. And of course, do that for every single scene that I have here. And then tapping any of these clips will also give me some options to either edit, trim, replace, delete, or paste. So if I tap edit, I can perhaps apply a photo filter. I can also make some subtle adjustments to things like the contrast, shadow, saturation, and so on. Resize, change the opacity, rotate, and all of these standardized capabilities. I then have the option, if I tap again, to trim. So if I decide actually I want it to be a little bit shorter, I can trim it at this stage too. And then I can of course replace the video. If I tap replace, it'll take me back into the library where I can potentially select an alternative clip to take its place. All right, now let's move our attention to the text on our video. You'll see the suggested title is still there, but now of course you can edit it just like you would edit any text. So for starters, I'm going to just tap on that, change the text, and I'm going to go with my own line of text here. So let's say time to book your summer vacation. And then I can do things like I would with any other text in GoDaddy Studio. If I edit it, I can decide on a new font. That looks good to me. I can do things to the alignment, the spacing, the capitalization, and so on. And then of course I can select any color I'd like. So these suggestions are in line with the existing video style that I've chosen. I'll go for this dark blue color and then just resize it where I'd like it to be. Okay, that looks good to me. So currently this text is only appearing on the first clip of my video, but if I'd like it to appear elsewhere on other clips in the same style and size and so on, I can just tap on that, select copy, and then perhaps I'd like to have a call to action on the final screen of my video. I'll just paste that there and perhaps just change the color to something that's going to stand out a bit more. This text at the end is going to be my call to action, so I'll say call us today to make a booking. All right, fantastic. The other thing you can do here, if you so desire, is to add a shape or perhaps a graphic to your video clip. In this case, I'm just going to pick something that I found a little bit earlier. This might be your logo, for example. It's a good idea to perhaps just put the logo of your brand as an overlay on your video clip. All right, that looks good to me. And then finally, you'll see as you are swiping through the different pages, each representing a clip in your final video, if I continue to swipe right past my final page, it calls up a new blank page, and perhaps you'd like to add an additional clip here. So all I would do then is tap right at the bottom here on video to take me to the video library. And then I have the option of just popping in another clip. Again, I have the option just to trim it before I add it. And that'll add directly to my canvas. I can resize and it's that easy. As always, the Pages button at the top center of your screen is the best way to get an overview of what your entire project is going to look like. You can just scroll through very easily and get a sense of how it's looking. And for example, I've decided against adding a clip at the very end here, so I'm just going to delete that. And just to get a final preview on how everything's looking, I can tap the play button and this will give me a quick preview of what my video looks like before I save it. It's probably a good idea to check that before you commit to publishing it. All right, I'm happy with that, so nothing left to do now but save out my video. And as always, I'm going to tap the export icon at the top right-hand corner, and I'll follow that up by tapping save. You'll see it's in an MOV format, which is universally accepted across all social media platforms and website builders. And then I'll just tap save as video. And now the video is saved to my device and ready to upload on my website or any social media platform. Start creating your own videos right now by downloading the free GoDaddy Studio app. All the links you need are in the description below. Thank you so much for watching, and please think about subscribing to this channel if you want to keep learning about GoDaddy Studio. I'll see you next time.